Hey everybody, welcome back to A Brief on Grief. So today I want to talk about joy. And you might be thinking, well, what does joy have to do with grief? I probably would have asked the same question not too long ago. But as I've been pondering something well, something again, that Brene Brown studies, and something that she said many months ago, and again came into my world like a few weeks ago, and I just had been thinking and pondering a lot, and it shifted. It was shifted to do with things with grief and joy and love. Anyway, so this is what this video is about. So one of the things that Brene found in the research that she did, she studies like vulnerability and shame and courage, is that she pinpointed and believed from like thousands and thousands of data and stuff that she looked at, that joy is actually the most vulnerable emotion that you can feel. So again, vulnerability is a way of presenting yourself or exposing yourself or choosing to do something when you can't control the outcome. So it's risky, it's scary, it's emotionally, well, vulnerable, I guess. Right? You can't control the outcome. You don't know what's going to happen. It involves sharing your heart when there's no guarantee that you're not going to get hurt. So she says that joy is the most vulnerable thing to feel, because a lot of us, she says, joy, when we lose our capacity for vulnerability, joy becomes foreboding. So foreboding meaning like fear-inducing. So when we're experiencing something that's giving us joy, so if we're experiencing joy in a moment, like looking down at a beautiful baby, or maybe our beautiful baby in a crib, or celebrating some amazing journey or some amazing thing that we're doing with our family, or you're enjoying like the company of a loved one, a lot of us can go into dress rehearsing tragedy. So we imagine and fear us losing the very joy that we're experiencing at the moment. And this is a common thing that people can do. So when vulnerability is too scary, joy becomes too scary. So we kind of dampen it down, right? We experience joy, but then we think, oh my God, what happens if this disappears? Maybe I shouldn't feel this as intensely because it'll be too painful if it gets taken away from me. And I could talk about this topic forever, but it's been percolating a lot in my heart and my head, like over the last few months after first hearing Brene talk about it, but more in the last few weeks too. Because I realized, yeah, like totally. And then I started recognizing it a little bit in my life. And and then I just started to think, well, yes, this is related to grief, because Brene says something like, we're trying to beat vulnerability to the punch. So we're trying to prepare ourselves for the worst so that hopefully it doesn't hurt as much when it happens. But what we do is that we're like reducing the amount of joy and amazingness that we're feeling in the present moment, because we catastrophize and worry about it disappearing from us. So because we dress rehearse that tragedy and we fear losing it, we kind of dampen it down, and then we can behave in ways that are acting out of fear because we're gripping to hold on to something, right? So I think that when we're doing this, we're preventing ourselves from grief. We're preventing ourselves from the pain of loss, right? So we feel if we feel less joy, then we won't be grieving and it won't be as painful when we lose it. So I was like, that's interesting. So this foreboding joy is all again about protecting ourselves from the pain of grief. And then on this topic of grief, I also thought about another way that we affect our joy or limit our joy in our life. And again, I can speak from personal experience and from messages that I've kind of been given either directly or indirectly my whole life. And it always bothered my heart. It always pained my heart to hear this. So if I was sharing with somebody something that I was sad about, maybe that didn't work out or something that I lost, I did learn messages from my family, as well as kind of our society and indirectly other places, that, well, if you don't get so excited and look forward to things so much, that it won't hurt as much when everything falls through, or it won't hurt as much when you lose this thing that you're excited about, right, or joyful about. And of course, I heard that a lot in the place of love, right, as well too, right? You love so passionately, or you love and get excited about stuff so much that, yeah, no wonder you that it's so painful when it doesn't work out or when you lose it. And I hated those messages. I was just like, well, you know what? Like, I may be in pain right now, but I think I'd rather choose to live and be joyful and be excited about things and look forward to things and feel the pain later if they don't work out, than to kind of squelch that joy and that excitement to keep myself safe. But so I chose to live like that, but also carried a lot of grief with me too. And the amazingness of the journey that I've been on the last 2 years has given me that extra power, because really it has given me that power to still live the way I want to live, which is to live with joy and excitement and love and passion about things, and to share that with people. You know, openly sharing it is another vulnerable thing, right? Because when you share it with somebody, it makes it more real. And that's that whole other level of, if it doesn't work out, you have to kind of tell people about it and all that stuff. It's a whole other level of vulnerability. But I'd much rather live like that. And now I can live like that, and I have a healthier way of processing the grief and the pain that I feel when things don't inevitably always work out. So that was like the magic shoe for me, is that I knew I wanted to, and I deeply knew in my soul that this was the way to live, but it was also very painful. And I knew there had to have been something else in it. This is the something else, is just learning a new way of loving myself and nurturing myself through the grief of loss, and not allowing that to affect the joy and excitement and love that I express in my life. So yeah, I love this topic. My heart is kind of fluttering, expanded right now, just sharing this topic with you. So I'm sure this will bleed over into some other videos coming up. So, okay. Thanks everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.